So I decided to learn how to code because I'll need it in my future projects. And this was already an overwhelming challenge. But my stupid ass decided that the best way to learn is to do, and so I started making my own game. Definitely not because learning to code would get less views than making a game. Alright guys, so important things first. We need to decide which game to actually make, and I already have an idea in my mind. Basically, it is just a mix of three of my favorite games: The Battle of Polytopia, Kingdoms and Castles, and Nova Rome. If you don't know what these games are, they are kingdom/city builders, and today I'll try to make the camera movement and the grid, which I'll use to generate the world and possibly even to build and for AI movement. By AI I mean the bots and enemies, which will be in the final game, hopefully. And so you know, I am a complete beginner with coding and 3D modeling. Either way, I had to select a game engine, and after about an hour of consideration and consulting ChatGPT, I settled on Unity, because it is easy to learn for beginners, it has heavy support for making mobile games, which I might consider doing too, and to top it off, it's pretty well prepared for games with low poly graphics. After that, I could start making my game, right? Well, first I had to watch a tutorial for Unity, because I understood it like Blender. I didn't understand it at all, and after watching approximately 10 tutorials, or about 5 hours of YouTube videos, I started making the project. First, I wanted to make the movement system, so I consulted ChatGPT and definitely did not copy everything regarding the movement into the brand new C# script named Player Camera Movement. Then I loaded up the game and it worked first time. Yippee! But then I decided to start working on the world grid. This was the hardest thing I've worked on yet. Not that I worked on a lot of things.
I'll have to ask my accountant about that.
Nevertheless, we need to establish what is the grid going to be there for, and for now it has three different uses. First, it is for the procedural world generation, similar to how Minecraft worlds are generated. I wanted different biomes and structures. Heck, I even wanted a different height for some places to simulate hills and mountains. Second, I wanted to use the grid for building, because remember, the game is supposed to be a city kingdom builder, so I needed a grid system which would be able to handle 1, 2, 3 or even more square buildings. By square I obviously mean the single grid cell. And I wanted to be able to place buildings even at the top of the hills, about which I'm definitely gonna make another video. And third, I wanted to use the grid for AI's pathfinding system, and again, I don't mean ChatGPT or something like that. I mean the NPCs which will be in my game, including both allies, citizens and enemies, and maybe even something entirely else. For starters, I created a function which generated vertices, but I couldn't see them, so I added another function which put zeros on the same world position where were the vertices. And later, I added lines which connected the vertices so I could see the grid. But I disliked the zeros in the corners of each grid cell, so I offsetted them about a half of cell size so they'd be in the middle of each cell. And if you couldn't tell by now, I was following a tutorial from CodeMonkey, who really explains everything related to coding, so I recommend you to go watch his tutorials if you need something. Then, I tried to generate spheres on the vertices of the grid, and something broke. That's where my game is now, so if you like this video, consider leaving like or sub, and if you didn't, tell me in the comments what should I improve. Oh, I almost forgot. Tell me your ideas for the name of the game in the comments. Bye.